Continue. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sovereign Spirits, where we discuss the possibility of this system as being a type of trap, where we get caught in a reincarnation cycle, partly perpetuated by so-called guides and counselors. And we focus on ways to transcend this cycle by remembering our true essence and using our intention in a willful and empowered way to manifest an afterlife as sovereign spirits. Today, we're back with our second guest. Please keep in mind as we do interviews that we may not be in complete agreement with everything our guests say and believe, just like our guests may not agree with everything we say on our channel. But we do feel they have pieces to this puzzle we're all trying to put together and have interesting and valuable information to share. I'm Julie McVeigh, and I'm here with co-creator and co-host of the show, Wayne Bush. And we're excited to have as our guest Calogero Grifasi, a man whose work we appreciate and admire as we feel his work brings great value to the community. Calo and his team use regressive hypnosis to help and to heal clients. Calo, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, of course.
Sure. We only have a limited amount of time with Callow, so we would like to focus mainly on the findings of his research and see if he has found any insights into the age-old existential questions that deal with human condition, the nature of our soul or spirit, and the meaning of life and the afterlife. Many people have been searching their whole lives for answers to these questions, and we don't really have any completely satisfactory answers yet. So, Callow, we don't necessarily expect you to have all the answers to these questions either. But we are really impressed with the way you're able to go further with your clients than what Michael Newton or Dolores Cannon did with theirs. It seems Michael and Dolores trusted the counselors, guides, angels, and masters who were guiding the sessions. And you, on the other hand, seem to take it a step further and question whether those sources are valid and whether they are entities manipulating behind the scenes. And so many of your sessions, you have allowed your clients to discover and confront these entities who often turn out to be reptilian or manus.
Yes, Calo, you empower your clients to discover what really happens in between lives and at death, and you improve their current lives by having them remove implants and change their etheric field. So we can get right into the questions unless you have something you'd like to clarify or add to all that.
Okay, you mentioned just the Cannon and the masters and just the other entities just to help humans on Earth, etc., etc. Okay, it will be okay because in the infinite we are in, everything is possible. So everything is possible. Okay, but the question is, do we need just some help from outside of ourselves? Because if we use an external help to solve something, we can solve this something, of course, but we depend of another force, another energy, another intelligence. So we are creating just a relations of dependence.
Mm-hmm.
This relation can be good or not. It depends because the relation can be of two kind of types. One is the interference, and the other one is the interaction. What is the difference between both? That when a relation is just wanted by the both partners, elements, or more members of a situation, okay, this is an interaction. I want something with you, you want the same, we are interacting. That's it. But if one of these parts is doesn't want just this kind of relation, the situation, etc. So this is a violence. So in this case, is interference. Is a
Mm-hmm.
relation of interference. So the majority of humans on Earth suffers about interference, esoteric interference. Why? Because they are not aware about their power. Because we think we need power. We are find power everywhere. The language we use is not correct, or better, is programming. us because
Mm.
we say, I got the power. I need the power. Is the power as everything is outside ourselves? The language just is a programmation of us. I got the power. No, you are the power. You don't need to get anything because we are the power. You are the power. So when you understand that you are your power in your space, um, in your identity, everything you want to create because you are your power, so you can solve any problem from by interference, esoteric interference. So if the person doesn't understand this concept, this basic concept, is a little complicated just to solve the problem, the esoteric problem. So when we are requesting some help, maybe this other entity can be a good entity, can be a bad entity, can be a bad entity, but we think this is a good entity because everything is possible. I repeat. But the fact is that we don't need anything from outside because we are power. So for ourselves, we can solve problems only by ourselves. And if we have a problem, it's because we need just to understand our power. Because when we are balanced, we are aware about our identity, power, etc., we don't have
Hmm.
any problem at all. It's very important.
Yeah, very important to know that we don't need any external sources to guide us, to heal us, to empower us because we already have that. We already are
Hmm.
that, as you say. So
Hmm.
it's a very, very important point. Thank you for making that point. Um, we are one of the things we're very curious about are these entities that we either choose to interact with or have this interference from. We know you've done 4,000 plus sessions, and we were just wondering, based on all of these sessions, have you been able to determine who are these entities and where did they come from and exactly do they want from us, if anything?
There are many reasons because these entities are interfering with us. And I want to just open just a little parenthesis. We can interfere with them. They can be interfered by us. But just another
Oh,
question is only with
Interesting.
people that are very aware about energies, how to move and manipulate energies. But it's another
uh,
thing. I tell you this because I want to open all the possibility we can have as a humans. We are power. We can do anything. Okay. But let's go back to the other thing.
okay.
What do they want from us? Many things, but the first thing, the best thing they need is food, energy. I explain myself. I make myself clear. Here, we on Earth, we need to food ourselves. We can just need energy from food. Of course, we can eat vegetables, we can eat animals, etc. Vegetables or animals are alive beings because they born, growing up, and die. Everything, vegetables and animals too. We have here a physical body, a material body. So we need material food just to food this body. They don't have a physical body. They are in another dimension, the etheric dimension, another frequency. So they have to feed, sorry, themselves, but not with a physical material things, just with ethereal or etheric things, etheric food. What is the etheric food we have, and they are looking in us, in our body? Just something that is not material, and we can understand as, for example, emotions. Emotion, emotion is energy,
Hmm.
or for example, mental energy, thoughts, opinions is energy.
Hmm.
Yes, they are energy. Emotions, sentiments are energies. Libido is a very powerful energy, sexual energy. Mm, Sexual energy is that the second energies they find the most.
Hmm.
And so we have to understand these things, this principle, because our metabolism, the frequency of our metabolism is higher than their metabolism. That means that And the good food for them is just the bad things for us. So everything is bad for us, is good for them. It's
Mm.
like an insect, for example, a fly. A fly can go into just um, sorry for the for the words, but the shit. The
Yeah.
fly
Right.
is feed itself by the
Right.
shit, but for us, the shit is completely something impossible to eat, of course, because
Right.
the metabolism is different.
Different.
So,
Mm.
so in case of emotions, they need just low frequency emotion that they
Mm.
we don't like. For example, fear,
Mhm.
rage,
Yeah.
Mm.
guilt feelings,
Mm.
sadness, anxiety, etc., etc.
Mhm.
They don't like, for example, happiness or serenity, high frequencies emotions. No, because it's another frequency. They don't vibrate with these frequencies.
Oh.
So they need this emotion from us. So they have to maintain the humanity, the mankind, just under this frequency. This is the reason because in this system, in this matrix, in this world, we are always under worries because of the economy, because of the war, because of the pandemic, because of the politics, because of the criminality, because of everything. Every day we just
Right.
watch television and everything is bad news. We have to stay in low frequencies because we are food for them. Of course, I want to be clear. We are food if we create food for them. If not, we are invulnerable. We are not food for them because
Mm.
we are creator and we can create food for them or not. So it depends because people
Mm.
seem like food for them is because are not aware about this mechanism of the esoteric interference because this food cycle, so they are food. And
Mhm.
when I put into hypnosis just a person, this person is understanding with an exploration of the situation, just what is this mechanism of this interference, why this person just fell in this situation, and when this person is aware about everything, so in this moment can modify things, can change mind, and can solve the problem. It's just a question of aware. Because when
Mhm.
you are aware of your power, you create your power. That create is you express your power better,
Mhm.
better, better. So what I have to do in the session is just to take the person to understand his situation, his personal situation, understand the mechanism of the esoteric interference, and solve it. That's it. 1 hour session, 1 hour and a half, as much.
Mhm.
That's it. Of course, and after that, after the session, there is a period of metabolization of the session because in the physical dimension, just the person in every level, mind level, for example, or in the subliminal level, can assimilate all the work she did into the etheric dimension, and it requires some times in the physical dimension. So it's a process. It's a process.
Right. Right. So have you determined maybe where they came from? Did we create them like egregores or something, or are they independent? And
Mhm.
that's why they have to get the energy from us because there are these independent. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce just what are these beasts, no? Because many of them just are very similar to many animals we have here in this physical dimension on Earth. For example, many of these entities can look like reptiles, for example. Mm.
Hmm.
So snakes or
Hmm.
crocodiles or dinosaurs, for example,
Hmm.
or reptiles,
Right.
Right.
lizards, etc.
Lizards, various
Hmm. Hmm.
lizards.
Other kind of entities. are similar to insects on Earth. So they are insectoids. Other entities are very similar to us, to the humanoids, etc. Felinoids, we have amphibioids and felinoids. So what a similar shape, similar genetics, because there is a connection between the physical dimension and the etheric one. When a person dies, just simply is transmutating, is mm, going from a dimension, the physical one, to the other one, the etheric one, because the etheric one is just the first one before, after the physical one, just the first step you give after leaving the physical dimension is the etheric one. It's just this frequency. Of course, we have many frequencies, but for now, we are working in this relation between these two dimensions. And we don't have to think about our rational mind is taking us to think, because our rational mind is projected, is designed just to understand the physical world. And the physical world is just done in one timeline. This timeline is going just in the same speed, same velocity, and is going forward and not backward, etc. But this time is completely flexible in the other dimension, in the etheric one. This is the reason because we in hypnosis can go back in time. We this is the reason because we call it regressive hypnosis, because we can regress to the past and we can go forward to the future too. Of course. Of course, we have infinite futures because you can take many decisions, so you can change your future, of course. And so when you ask me about where they come from, who creates this entity, etc., we are completely out of the path. We cannot understand this way because we don't have to ask questions how our rational mind is designed to understand. So time is so flexible, like we can say that time doesn't exist or time is you can manage the time as you want.
Right. So I
So
think, yeah, I was going to
mhm,
say it will take them sometimes to past lives where they had the interference from a past life
it can be of
on
the
their
past
etheric.
life. But I mean that there is no origin, there is no death, there is no a start, there is no an end. So it's a concept very complicated to understand because a rational mind is just designed just to understand a timeline, there is a principle, a start, it's just an end. But this is not the time as it works in another dimension.
Right.
So we are immortal. Every being is infinite. There is no start, there is no creation, there is no end, there is no death. Absolutely. Times doesn't exist because it's infinite. The truth, the both things are the same thing.
So it sounds like you're saying our spirits have always existed, have always been around. So there's like one of our questions was like, based on all your sessions, like why did we come? Well, I guess it still applies. Why did we come into these organic bodies in the first place then, if we are these
Mhm.
eternal, and we don't know if you differentiate between the words spirit or soul, or if you even like using those words, if you just consider as consciousness or energy, but why did we come here into these bodies and where were we before that? What do you think?
Um, so we can just to complete just the last answer. Okay, we can be any one of this kind of being in base our level of awareness. So if you can be reptiles in every point of the time in the infinite, because of level of awareness, you can go forward, backward, etc. It doesn't matter. Now you are a human because your level of awareness is just one, just a kind of. That's it. So we are in this ecosystem where every kind of level of awareness being exists. Hmm? That's it. So everyone always, always has existed.
Mm.
Always. So your questions, why they are in this physical system just to interfere with us? Okay. We have two kind of interference, we humans. Two.
Mhm.
Human esoteric interference and extraterrestrial esoteric interference. What is the difference between them? Because, for example, when a person dies, there is no physical body for him or her, but it's just in the etherical dimension in this moment. Okay, but the genetical, the DNA is human. It's a human DNA. It's human genetics. So it's completely compatible with our genetics in this physical dimension, this physical body. So as a soul, a human soul is designed just live, to live into a physical body, a human physical body. So this disembodied person can introduce himself or herself into another alive physical body. But it's not so simple because you can say, oh, okay, every in every moment, every day, many people are dying, so I'm full of disembodied bodies into my physical one. No, no, because okay, the genetical compatibility. It's okay, but you have to have an authorization. You have to have just an open door to permit this disembodied person just to come in your body, of course. It's like, for example, the genetical compatibility can be, for example, just a door. If the door is just the same dimension of my body, I can pass through this door and just change dimension, change the room from one room to another one. So my body is compatible with the door, and I can introduce myself in another room. But the authorization is if the door is open or closed. If the door is open, I can go. If the door is closed, I cannot go in the other room. So, okay, the genetical compatibility, but if you don't have authorization to give authorization to the disembodied person to come into your body, so you are invulnerable. Anyone can get into you. And what is this authorization? Why many people have these disembodied people inside? Mm? Because the authorization is just a communication, energetic communication, just a channel, an open channel. And this channel can be have been opened just in the past when the other person was alive. For example, just the father, the mother, the sister, a friend, a close friend, an animal, a pet, something that you have a sentimental, emotional relation to. This is a connection. This is an authorization. Okay, I want you. I want you. I love you. So this is, I want you. Stay with me. Don't go away. So this sentiment, this emotion, just a authorization. I want you. Stay with me. Just a will. So the authorization is just a energetic communication between two people, one alive, for example, and the other one dead. So in this case, there is an interference between two humans, a live one and a dead one. So the dead one can live as a parasite inside the alive one. And this kind of connection can create problems, of course, can issues, because the body, the physical body, can assimilate and can respond to this interference and can somatize this energy. So you can get some sickness, for example, some heal or some problems in your body or in your mind. For example, let's suppose the disembodied body, disembodied person is inside another one, for example, a mother in the body, in the physical body of a son, the son. And the mother just died for a cancer, for example. Maybe this experience of the cancer, this kind of suffering during the last months of her life can generate a trauma in the mother. So the mother stays with the sun, and he's transferring this information of this trauma to the sun. The sun is accepting at a subliminal level this energy because he's his mother. So there's a connection, a sentimental one. So it's only in a subconscious level. So maybe just a possibility, the sun can suffer a cancer just in the future, in the forward years to come, for example. Why not? Or the same one cancer, or another kind of issues. Anything. Headache, um, problems of every kind of physical issues or mental one. For example, memory, lack of memory, or change of opinions, change of
Hmm.
emotions inside emotion, because the interference can be emotional
Mhm.
or mental. So you can change your opinion because another intelligence is um, playing with your opinions. So you can get confused some see because it's very complicated, it's very complex, but it's fascinating at the same time. So in this case, for the wellness of the two beings, it just needed a disconnection, a separation, because the disembodied, the dead person, has to go away in another process, and the physical one, the live one, has to complete his process on Earth until his day. That's
Mhm.
it. So in session, the first thing we do when we detect just a human esoteric interference is just to make the two people or more people in some situation just to get a way to disconnect and everyone for his path. And after that, when a person can set himself free about this interference, solve his problem. So he can feel his body lighter, stronger. If this person has some issues, the issue can disappear or can reduce. Um, eh, Mentally can be more clear. Eh, So everything changed in this person's life, of course, and not only in the alive person, but in the life of the dead person, because the dead
Hmm.
person doesn't stay good inside another body that is not the of him or herself. So his or her has to go away into another process, maybe to get back for a reincarnation cycle, for example, or not. It depends. It's another story. But the disconnection is needed.
Right. Yeah.
And after that,
And
there
you,
we have. Tell
I
me.
was gonna say, you help people do that now. Or you help people help themselves do that? But it sounds like we can do that ourselves if we just come to the realization of what's going on our own. We can get rid of these connections. Is that true? Stephen, on our own, by our own will and intention?
Do you mean if there is an intention of the live person? Just yes, but many times it's a subliminal
Right.
unconsciousness level. So
Okay.
we don't know. Rational, we don't know. We don't understand.
Hmm.
Hmm? Maybe you don't believe in these kind of things. No, no, it's
Right.
dead. It's dead. It doesn't exist anymore. That's it. Yes, but just a rational level. But subliminal one is working. This process is working on you, in you.
Right. Yeah, there might be these subconscious things going on. That's why Wayne and
Like
I, on a
programming.
regular basis, will put up protections using our intention, and we intentionally we use our intention to remove any implants, if any tracking devices, if any, to release any parasites or entities or negative beings from us. Is that a useful technique?
Mhm. Okay, first of all, I don't remove anything because just the client can remove anything in his body because I cannot do anything in another space. I can do it only if
Right.
the other person allow me, give me
Yeah.
his power to do it. I think that I don't want to because it just is the mechanism of the interference, of course.
Mhm.
But first of all, human esoteric interference by humans doesn't need implants because implant is a technology, an extraterrestrial technology that humans don't have. So there is a genetic compatibility, so they don't need anything just to stay to interfere with dead and alive people. No, it's just genetical. In the other case, when you have an interference by extraterrestrial being with another genetic, no compatibility in genetics, they cannot stay in our body just because they want, because the genetical is completely different.
Mm.
So they have to use a technology just to realize a connection. This is the reason because in hypnosis, people can see implants, devices inside, etherical devices. So in every part of the body, because these implants can have many functions because of input, output information, or just to um, absorb energy, transferring energy, changing frequencies,
Mm.
modulations of frequency, etc. etc. Any device can have just a particular function. There are infinite of implants, functions, etc. So it's completely absurd just to create a catalog of implants, etc. Okay. So when we are seeing implants, devices, etc., is because the interference is not human, is extraterrestrial. So from reptiloids, insectoids, humanoids, felinoids, etc., etc. The first thing, because why they want to a connection with us is because they need to feed themselves with our emotions, for example, or sexual energy or mental energy. So they connect with us with this device just to keep absorb energy. First reason. There are other reasons, not only this is the basic one. When they are satisfied with this basic need, they can do other things with us. As we people on Earth do many things with animals, not only use animals
Mhm.
just to eat, just to feed ourselves themselves, just to experiment genetical experiments, because we create something, uh,
Mm.
for example, just to test medicines or
Right.
pharmacology, or because we have to dress with fire our body, everything, no? Or
Right.
just for diversion, just because we just want to have just a bird just in a jail in our houses. But why? This is a prison for a bird. Why? Because we want to have a bird and just
Zoos.
listen to this. No, no, they can do the same one. They can put just a
Yeah.
human into a jail just because they want to, for diversion, just to have a human there. And we
Right.
want a bird there, for example. No?
Right.
Um, so one of the most important esoteric extraterrestrial interference is because of genetical experiments.
Right.
They are trying to create the best body, etherical, physical, the best creator.
Hmm.
They want to try to reproduce themselves because some of them are going into an extinction in their planet or dimension, etc., etc. So many
Mhm.
reasons, but
Hmm.
the goal is the genetic information. For example, it can be fantasy, it can be very incredible, but I'm going to tell you something very strange, very hard to understand, and very common. It's very common. For example, let's start with an example. It's better to understand it. A couple can just look for a service of hypnosis from me because they are trying to have kids, but they don't. And everything physical is good, but they don't understand why. So maybe
Mhm.
there is an esoteric cause, an esoteric reason because of that. Maybe. So let's go. Let's go into hypnosis and let's discover what is happening in another dimension in your situation, in your bodies. And for example, I can see. into an hypnosis that, for example, the girl is sleeping, is dreaming. For example, she's dreaming, and is an erotic dream because we do many erotic dreams. Maybe we don't remember, but we have many dreams. Every night we dream. Every night. The
Right.
majority of them we don't remember, but we do. So maybe this is an erotic dream. So this girl is maybe is dreaming just a sexual relation with this husband, for example. One of the possibility. Okay, this is just an erotic dream. She can awake. That's it. But in hypnosis, we are going to put our sight just deeper and deeper. Wait a moment. Identify the sky. Is it your husband? Is he your husband? Wait a moment. Stay there. For example, identify him by genetical information. How to do? Well, for example, you can touch him so your subliminal part can absorb the genetical information of this being presence in front of you, and she can detect the identity, can identify this being. Maybe he can appear, for example, a mantis, an insectoid. The mantis is one of the first insectoid we can see when the interference is by insectoid. And insectoid are the the
Mantis.
class the class of extraterrestrial beings that are very deep inside the genetical information, the genetical experiments. For example, reptiloids are more for energy because they have to do something. They are very their social organization is more hierarchical. They are doing. They need many energies, not only for them, just for just for their ovni, just to move ovni, just to put energy in their dimensional cities where they live, etc., etc. But insectoids are more, of course, for energy, etc., for food, etc., but more for genetical experiments. So this girl has just had a dream of a sexual relation, but not with her husband, but just with a mantis, an insectoid. And
Hmm.
these insectoids can left just something etherical, something inside her. For example, eggs, because these insectoids, as the insects on Earth, are doing eggs just to reproduce themselves, and they need just to put the sex there just to create, just to absorb the sexual energy of the uterus of the girl, just to the gestation of the eggs, just to permit the develop of the sex. Normally, after 3 months, terrestrial 3 months, they come just to remove the eggs or just the embryo because maybe the embryos are not eggs, and they take these embryos or eggs in their ovnis, in their laboratories, just to put them into incubators. I don't know in English, maybe this is the right word, just to terminate just the develop of these embryos or eggs. And at 95%, the experiment is done. Also, it doesn't work. Everything is
Wow.
dead. Yes, yes, because they are experiments. So they are trying just the combination by DNA, etc. So just a few combination between my thousand and thousands can result in a good hybridization, for example. So they are continuing just to do this
Right.
kind of experiment. So the physical body of the girl just is feeling as she is pregnant. So reduce the possibility to get pregnant again. So maybe just a girl can have just a stop of the menstruation cycle just for 3 months, for example. Just the time where the eggs are there. Normally are 3 months, more or less. For example, in this time, she cannot get pregnant physically because the
Right.
body is just into a reaction in the physical dimension
Right.
is reproducing this behavior. no?
Yeah.
For example, or in other case, they can extract the etherical part of the sperm of the man, for example, because
Right.
they use the semen just to create hybridation with their eggs just in their laboratories, etc.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there
Yeah.
are many of these cases, many of
Wow.
them.
Well, that is pretty crazy. And we know we don't have a whole lot of time. We got maybe another 20-25 minutes. So we'll go ahead and move on and ask you some questions about the construct of the matrix. If you've learned anything, um, maybe how the moon or the sun or Saturn, grids, domes, white light, the void, those kinds of things, maybe they play a role in the matrix. Have you learned anything about that in your sessions?
Yes, of course. Um, I said before that they need to put us into a low frequency situation. So we are worried about the wars, the economics, the politics in all around the world. So of course, to do this, they have to control the world. mm,
Right.
because they are high in hierarchy. So, just a president of a country is nothing. It's just something physical. It's just an intermediate. It's just a tool to permit them just to move something in the physical world. They need a physical world to do, but they are not physical. So they need people to stay in some place to do some work for them. This is one of the reasons of the hybridation, the genetical experiments, because they need to create an hybridation to permit them to work in the physical dimension through a physical body. They cannot do by themselves, so they're using this hybridation just to stay inside a human body. Do you remember about the genetical compatibility? So
Right.
they have to use technology just to create connection. But another kind of connection is because of the hybridation. In this case, they don't need technology, or they can use technology at the same time. But the connection, the first connection, is because of DNA. They are creating just a combination that one kind of DNA can combine, can get relation with another kind of DNA. This is an hybridation. If the hybridation is positive, that can work. So they can control human body as they have this human body, as yours. So the powerful men, powerful people on Earth, for sure, is an hybrid man. And the majority of them are not aware about this. Other kind of people are semi, half aware, and other, just the minority, are aware about the situation. And so this is one way to have just um, material fact on Earth, because they use hybridation just to move something in the physical world. So every just to maintain the system just in working good. And when I say working good, it's just in the same way we are seeing the system working on. I mean, for us, the system is not the country where we are not so efficient, because we have always problem to solve. We always have problems because of the economy, the politics, the everything. We are worried about everything. And we say that the system is not perfect because we have to get the system more perfect. We have to um, improve the system. But no, the system is perfect in this way, is working perfect. We need to stay in the situation. The thing has not worked properly because in this way they work properly in another dimension. So to control the economy, to control the politics, to control the science and technology, to control the information, mass media, culture, religion. everything of these tools on Earth, they are tools, are controlled by this entity.
I see.
Mm.
Well, thanks. I know there's so much detail that's involved with all the manipulation and control of the masses, but right, we're running short on time, so I guess we really are concerned at this point with what your thoughts are on maybe some solutions. Like, do you have any opinions on what people should do at death to prevent this coming back by these entities? Obviously, don't give away your power, but and also, do you yourself maybe have an exit strategy or escape plan that you're going to use?
Uh-huh. Okay, the message I want to give in this interview is not a negative message. This is just the situation that I find in any person in hypnosis because they have a problem. I put the into hypnosis this person and I work in this situation. So this is the situation in people with problem. Okay, but the message is not negative, it's positive because there is a solution. For example, you can ask me, this planet is a prison planet. I can say, I can tell you yes, but not, because it depends. The planet is a prison if you create a prison for you. The planet is just the planet. You can be free or not. It depends on your awareness.
Exactly.
Because when you are vulnerable about this energy, they cannot get food from you, energy, they cannot interfere with you. Because when you have an interference, you don't only have a lack of energy and you are in a low frequencies energy, etc. Not only this, but everything is a consequence in the long term too because you can have problems just in your social life, in your profession, in your economy, um, in your health situation. So a long term in your life, you can have problem because of this interference. Not only just I feel tired because I lost energy because of an entity. No, this is just in the short time, in the short term. But everything is creating if you don't solve the situation you can put all these problems in another perspective in the long term perspective so everything in your life changed when you are free when you are invulnerable because you are aware about this mechanism your life is completely different because you are not creating your life in a low frequency so in the long term your life is completely different you are a very healthy person, your life is good, you live good, your social relations are good, in your family you can live in happiness, etc., etc. You obtain, you get in your life what you want because you are a creator. And when you desire something, before you can create everything inside you. And after that, in the long term, you, with your behavior, with your mental, etc., you create in conscious and conscious way you create so when you see for example a very happy person in his 40 in his 50 that have just built a very good life is because not because of the lack or the fortune of the no it's because the situation the esoteric situation of this person so what is the uh, the solving of the situation? What is the goal we have to obtain? As I said before, you need an authorization just to permit to allow this being to do something yourself, to stand yourself, and you use your power, your own power against yourself. Because in your space, everything happens because of your will. Because you are your power. You don't have power. You are your power. But when you are manipulated, when you are not aware about your power, they use your power against you. How? Because everything you think, everything you believe, everything you want, you create because you are power and you are a creator. So they want you to think something they want, you create, you believe something they want you to believe because in this way you create for them, not for you. So this is the trap of the religion. This is the trap of the politics. This is the trap of the culture we have on Earth. Mm? Because we think in the same way they want you, they want we to think just to create their world, not our world. So when you don't allow this being to stay in your space, to alterate your balance of energy, etc., your frequency, etc., they cannot do anything with you. You are invulnerable. You are clean. And you create your life in the best way as you want. So in this way, you are not in a prison planet. You are in a planet and you enjoy your planet in a good way. When you are a prisoner, because you are creating your own prison, but of course in a subliminal unconsciousness level. When you are aware of your power, you can change everything. But you before have to be aware of your power. I do always this example. Um, for example, a person is very rich, a millionaire, a billionaire, but he doesn't know he has money in the bank. So his life is a poor life. It's a life of a poor man. So he depends on another person because of the work, etc. But in the moment he discovered all this money in his bank, his life changed, of course. He can do everything he wants. He doesn't depend of anyone, of any boss. Mm? He cannot be submitted because of some humiliation. Stay just submitted because it's the only thing he can do just to survive. So in this way, when we discover that we are power, we do everything can want to do, everything want to do. And so our lives change. So we have to discover our
Awareness.
power. The session is just to discover your power. In the session, you resolve problem with your power. You see all these beings. You remove any permission you gave to them just to stay in your space. You can destroy things because when you destroy it, just because you are moving energy, death doesn't exist. It's just a transmutation. When you destroy something, it's because of transmutation out of my space. Out in my space, not. It doesn't exist anymore. Because I destroy you. Because I remove the permission I gave you to stay in my space. When you don't take this permission, this authorization, you cannot stay anymore in my space and disappear. So this is a distraction. So you can remove anything. You can remove any implants, any device, any contract, any agreement, anything. You
Empowerment.
set yourself free just to be aware of your power. In a
Mhm.
session, you discover this. And many people can get surprised because oh, I did this. It's incredible. Yes, you did it. You are your power. You are your power. You don't have power. You are power. That's it.
Cool.
So many of our listeners, one of the main things they want to, or that they're determined not to do is to reincarnate back here on Earth. And it sounds like we carry this power, this awareness into death. And when we cross over, we have this, and we, in that sense, will know we won't have to be recycled because we know we have our own, we're empowered. We don't have to fall for this manipulation anymore. Sounds like what you're saying.
Of course, if you don't want to reincarnate and you are aware of your power, you are not going to
Right.
reincarnate anymore. Of course, because you decide, no, I don't want. That's it. But
Right.
maybe you want. Why not? Okay, I want to reincarnate, and of course, I'm going to reincarnate just in my condition, with my conditions. I want to live this kind of life. Maybe you can fall in another trap. Yes, why not? But it's your decision. Uh, for example, many people very aware uh, want to be reincarnated because, just, for example, many powerful people are powerful because they are living on Earth because of their agreements, because they have just some project just to
Mhm.
maintain life by life. They are aware just to this collaboration with these entities. In this case, it's not interference, but it's interaction. In
Right.
this case,
Right.
because they are aware.
Agreed to it. Yeah.
So the possibilities are many, are infinite. So you can decide just to know. reincarnate on Earth. Okay, you can do it, of course. You can decide to reincarnate on it and live your life you want to live, so you can live in happiness. Why not? Or you can get reincarnated because you want to do another kind of things, because you are just a puppet of these entities, and you want to live in the power, you want to live in the um,
It seems like all of
in
them agree to mind wiping, though, or is that something that's forced upon people when they reincarnate here? What is this mind wiping? Why don't we have memories of our past lives or just who we are originally?
of course, because the majority of the humans, the mankind, is unaware, is not aware of this power. So many of them are prisoners. Of course, this planet is a prisoner for them. So they get reincarnated because they are unaware of this process and they are manipulated.
Hmm.
So one condition, this dimension, this physical dimension, this planet is just a big, enormous co-creation. So to
Hmm.
get into this co-creation, we have to accept the condition of the co-creation.
Hmm.
So we can create something, but to enjoy, to join this co-creation, we all have to accept the condition. So this creation is done for this. If you accept all these conditions, if you accept this agreement, okay, you can stay. If not, automatically you are out. So to get into this world, this co-creation, you have to accept many conditions, and one of them is you have to forget everything. You don't have to have memories, because you have memories, maybe you can understand you have power. You don't have power, you are power, and you can set yourself free. You don't have to remember anything. You have to live blind. So when you are blind, you are manipulated. When you are blind, you don't know what is occurring, and you are completely manipulating. And I can do anything with you. You are food for me. You are an animal. This is a prison. This is a jail. You have to stay there, and that's it. So
Yeah.
they don't want, of course, you are aware. And this is the one reason, because you forget everything. They cut any connection with the information, and you lose memories. This
Yeah.
is one condition to get reincarnated. Yes,
Just
for
for
example.
me, I don't think I'd ever want to come back here to Earth again because there's so many limitations. Like the body is so
Yeah.
limiting. Like in the etheric plane, you can, travel at will, like instantaneously, telepathically, you can create anything you want in such greater capacity. Like for me, I just, there's too many limitations here on Earth that I would ever want to agree. I mean, there's other planets that might be way better, but even then, I want complete freedom. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I can
Yes,
understand why
but
somebody else might, but
Yes, but it depends on level of awareness, because you are not completely aware about your possibilities, your power. You are just living to your limitation, into your same limits. No, of course, on Earth, in the physical body, we have more and more limitation than in the etherical one, because we can detect all these dimension with five sense, just
Right.
just the five sense, and that's it. But the reality is done of infinite things we don't understand. We just we just have air, liquid, and material, and fire, and plasma. That's it. No,
right.
no, no. It's just a very small part of the infinite where we live.
If it's okay, I had a quick question going back to something else we were talking about. Do these entities interfere in our dreams?
Yes, because the dream is just a, if you want to call it, spiritual activities, oniric activity, or etherical activity. It's the same. So when you dream, it's because your body, your physical body is resting, is in basic metabolization, so is off,
Right.
and your etherical body get out and live his life. So when the life in the physical body is off, is on in the etherical one completely.
Mhm.
Because you are into a dimension, you are dreaming with other creature, with other beings, other presence in surreal world, and This is the etherical dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think, when you are dreaming, the same moment you are dreaming, for you, it's completely normal. Everything is happening, but it's a surreal world. But
Mm-hmm.
you are aware of this surreal world when you are awake, not
Right.
before. This is the same sensation they have a dead person, more or less. Because when a person dies, it's just in another dimension, it's like a dream. So this person can fly, can do something. There is no space, there is no time. He can move in this dimension in a flexible way, but it's normal for him, but not for us. But just he needs just to get out of his body, just to live another dimension and not the physical one. So when you are dreaming, during the dream, we are in a normal situation. But when we are awake and we remember the dream, we think, very weird situation. I did something very weird, that's surreal, no? It just etherical activity, like into the hypnotic environment, like when we are dead in the etherical dimension, in this reincarnation cycle. That's it. It's the same dimension, maybe in different frequency because there are many levels, but it's this dimension, the etherical one.
So I lucid dream so that I'm aware of that I'm sleeping in bed and that I'm dreaming. And I also deliberately go out of body. I'll roll out of my body. Now, are these levels of awareness that are different on the etheric field than dreaming? So dreaming unconsciously, is that a different dimension than when we lucid dream or go out of body deliberately? Do you know?
And if I get good your questions, I want to answer you in this way. The majority of the dreams are uh, passive. You are a passive, a passive person. No,
Observer.
yeah,
Observing,
you,
observing.
yeah, you don't do the things you want to do. You do just the situation is moving you to do it.
Right, right.
But in the less of the dream, just in the minority, you are a protagonist of the dream. You do in the dream everything you want to do. You domain the dream. You are the creator of the
Right.
situation. You are the creator of that co-creation. You can lead your dream. You can do everything you want to do. So when
Right.
you are aware of your dream this
Mhm.
way, you are aware after death just to do something in this etherical world. If you don't want to get reincarnated, you are not going to be reincarnated on earth again. You decide by yourself and for yourself. So it's the same. If you can get to be a protagonist of your dream, you are a protagonist after your death, your physical death.
Hmm. Would
Yeah.
you recommend at death for us to not give any attention to guides or Joe, Aunt Jane or Uncle Joe who comes to us, or as Jesus or ascended masters, whatever, coming to us, say, "Hey, come on with me, and I'm going to take you to
Uh-huh.
wherever." Would you say no? You probably don't want to go with those entities or beings.
When you are free, when you're aware, when you stay good in your balance, in your space, you don't need any Jesus. You don't need any Buddha. You don't need anyone. You need any guide. You don't need anyone. You can interact if you want with them because they are entities.
Okay.
Uh, of course, Jesus is not Jesus you think he is, etc., etc. But it's another question. It's another thing.
Right.
But you don't need anyone. You don't need anyone. So it doesn't matter if the entities want to guide you in this new path are good or not, bad or good. You don't know. First of all, you don't know if they are good or not. But
Right.
anyway, you don't need anyone, neither good, neither bad. So what is the problem? The problem doesn't exist. You are aware of yourself. That's it. You are invulnerable. You don't need anyone. That's it. So I need Jesus, etc., etc. Need God,
Mm.
nada.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what our message is. Like I noticed you somehow came across Dolores Cannon after she had died, and didn't she say she was greeted by all these extraterrestrials, and she had told you that she had been deceived by these extraterrestrials like during her life. And have you come into contact with any other players like Michael Newton or Robert Monroe or anybody like that?
You refer a session of mine of many time ago,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have to say something. The information through hypnosis is very polluted. So you don't have to believe everything you get from hypnosis, no? Um, because the information is passing through many intelligence, many dimensions, many frequencies, and after that, the last one is just mental structure of the person who is receiving this information into hypnosis. So it's normal that everything is completely polluted.
That was going to be one of our questions, like how much do you actually trust the information coming from these clients as far as like yeah, to answer these universal questions. So you're saying it's obviously it's not infallible. There's pollution involved, right?
Mhm. So in this case, the session we suppose it's Dolores Cannon because we don't know. I mean, we cannot have just
Right.
so sure about this. No, it's just one possibility. One possibility. It can be okay. Of course, we can go into an investigation, deeper investigation with many times. Or when you do investigation with by hypnosis, you have to do something. We have to respect protocols because if not, the information is useless. I have to say something because I told, but after that, when express just one concept, I have to clarify something. If not, we can understand just the things I have to express. You can ask, okay, if the information is polluted, if the information is useless, so why you are going to do sessions to solve problems? With information is useless. So the session is useless, so no? No. Because the information can be polluted, can be completed altered, but this information just take you to the root of the problem. So you are working with this information, just not to have information, just to have an idea of
Right.
what is happening, or just to solve that problem.
It's to
And how
heal.
you do that, you solve the problem because you, of course, have results and you see in your life your results. So the information is there, is connected to the problem, and you use this information to connect with the problem and solve it. That's it.
Right.
But if you want to use this information to help to explore, just to um, identify something, the things is complicated. It's more complicated. So
Right.
if you want to have just a situation clearer, you have to, for example, as we did in the investigation departments, we have to do many sessions with the same theme, with a protocol, with the same questions, and we have to get information from any couple of people working this protocol in hypnosis. After that, we have to recollect all this information, filter all this information just to have the information that is in common with our other session. Of course, we cannot do with just a some session, but with a thousand of session, just to have the best information that we can say, okay, is the real information, the pure information, because it's repeated in every session, every session.
Mm.
And we use this information just to move in this world, in these patterns. I mean, I'm explain you in tonight. I explain some concept and how I have this concept, and I believe in this concept because this is the result of thousands of hypnosis, more of 10 years of hypnosis, and this information is going to be repeated in every session, every session. So if I talk to you about reptiloids, insectoids, experimental experiments, because of the food, because of the genetic, etc., the OVNI, etc., 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 the
Recurring
implant,
theme.
It's because in every session there is the same pattern, there is the same scheme, there is
Right,
the same information, the best
right,
information. But all the other information is just for speculation, it's just for
right,
you cannot be sure about all this
right.
information.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was one of our questions related to how we can trust the material. And I know we're getting close to being out of time. Let me know when it's just gone too long for you, but if we can get one more in, have you learned anything about the origins of humanity? For example, were humans engineered by ETs?
Um, I'm not attracted about this kind of information because I know the information is completely polluted, and maybe one idea, a question we have to put inside ourselves is, do they want we have this kind of information because this kind of culture is because they take advantage about this information we can have? Anyway, I'm not interested in what is the way of the regions of the humans on Earth. It's, for me, the same. I'm not
Mhm.
interested because I have another vision of the things. Because I know that this life I'm living is just one timeline into
Mhm.
Mm.
infinite ones.
Right.
So I don't mind. I'm not interested in this, the region
It
of the
doesn't come
humans.
out, it doesn't really come out in your sessions, it sounds like. It's not one of the recurring themes.
When I read something about this information, I always have the dude. Is it okay? Is it real? Uh,
Valid or
is it the real information we need or not?
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. But for me, it's not important. This
yeah, we appreciate that.
So do you want to, we're about done with
Yeah,
time, I
sure.
think. Um,
It's been an hour
yeah,
and
we're
15
about
minutes or
reaching
so.
the end of our
but
time.
just one thing.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, because of the genetical information, we can be a product of this genetic information, of course. Because this is something
Sure.
that I'm sure of it, of course. So maybe yes, but in which way exactly? I don't know. But the concept is this. Okay. But if you are telling me that this kind of extraterrestrial just put something on Earth in this part of Earth, just in this year, and I don't know. And this is
Right.
completely can be
It's,
completely
you were
polluted after
mentioning
it.
you were mentioning DNA and the genetics involved in the alien or extraterrestrial interference. So we thought, well, maybe it's likely that they may have somehow created this like
Yes.
from primitive man or whatever, and to allow that to happen.
Mhm.
So, but we thought maybe with all those sessions you had, you'd run into some of those
Right.
cases, but apparently not.
And
We talked
if,
about creation, but it's always a process. There is no creation because we don't start from zero. Never, never. It's zero
Mhm.
doesn't exist. So maybe just an alteration, just a moment of this alteration, okay, but not creation. We can call it creation, but not started from zero. Started
Is
from
there a way
another
to
thing.
jump timelines? You're mentioning timelines.
Yeah.
If we're not happy with the
Yes.
timeline you're in, I mean, sure, you have the power to create, you are the
Yes.
power. Can you change your life that quickly, or is there a way to just jump to a different timeline in
Yes.
your
You can
awareness?
jump. You can jump. Of course, you can jump. Of course, you can jump, for example, in the etherical dimension, you can jump it and you can have results because of these different esoteric conditions. So you can have results in your physical life. But in the physical life, you cannot jump in the timeline, of course. You can have
Mhm.
effect for another timeline you are living in the subliminal, in the etherical dimension. Okay. But if you want to jump in your physical dimension, you have to die before, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Because
And
the
Callow,
rule of the
Like maybe you had some secret or some shortcut you could tell us.
and Callow, please, if you have anything else you want to share with our listeners before we close down, anything
you can
you
ask
feel
me.
like that we forgot that's really important.
I can talk about many, many, many things. You can ask me everything, but if you want to just another moment, we can meet again and talk about other things with other questions. For me, it's
That
okay.
would
It's
be
a
great.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Well, thanks, Callo, for being here today and sharing with
Yeah.
us. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And this has been Wayne Bush and Julie McVeigh with Sovereign Spirits.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this discussion, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe, click the bell icon so you're alerted to future videos. And yeah, we hope everyone's having a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.